I'm Madison. It's been a while since that fateful night, but the memory still stings. I remember standing on that stage, the glare of the lights blinding me, the applause ringing in my ears, and the empty seats beside me speaking volumes. I had just received the National Disaster Preparedness Innovation Award, a moment I'd dreamed of for so long. But as I looked out at the audience, I couldn't help but think about the people who should have been there, the ones who had dismissed my invitation as a waste of time. Growing up, I was the quiet one in my family. My parents, Robert and Grace, were both well respected in our small town of Fairview. Robert was a successful businessman who was always busy climbing the corporate ladder, and Grace was a socialite who spent her days attending charity events and networking. They were both so caught up in their own lives that they barely had time for me or my older sister, Lily. Lily was the star of the family. She was beautiful, outgoing, and talented. She excelled in everything she did, from sports to academics, and she always had a crowd of friends around her. My parents doted on her, showering her with love and attention. I, on the other hand, was the one who faded into the background. I was the one who fixed the plumbing when it leaked, the one who unclogged the drains when they got blocked, the one who took care of all the little things that kept the household running smoothly. But my efforts were rarely noticed or appreciated. When I was 14, I entered a science competition with a project on sustainable energy. I spent months researching, building models, and perfecting my presentation. I was so excited about it, and I really thought my family would be too. I reserved 3 seats at the front of the auditorium, imagining them sitting there, cheering me on. But on the day of the competition, they didn't show up. Lily had a big dance recital that night, and my parents decided it was more important to be there for her. I was heartbroken, but I tried not to let it show. I went up on stage and gave my presentation as best as I could. And to my surprise, I won first place. I was overjoyed, but when I got home and showed my parents my trophy, they barely glanced at it. My father mumbled something about being proud and then went back to his work. My mother took one look at it and said, "That's nice, dear. Now, can you help me with this charity event I'm organizing?" That was the pattern of my life growing up. Lily got all the glory, and I got all the chores. I stopped hoping for their attention or approval. I focused on my studies and my projects, finding solace in the world of science and technology. After high school, I went to college and then joined a climate research firm. I worked hard, pouring my heart and soul into my work, developing a system to predict natural disasters more accurately. It was a long and difficult journey. There were times when I wanted to give up, when the failures and setbacks seemed too much to bear. But I kept going, driven by a sense of purpose. And finally, after years of hard work and dedication, my efforts paid off. Our system started showing remarkable results. It helped save countless lives and properties during several natural disasters, and I was nominated for the National Disaster Preparedness Innovation Award. I still remember the day I found out. Dr. Amelia Carter, my boss and mentor, called me into her office. She closed the door, and for a moment, I thought I was in trouble. But then she smiled and handed me a packet of papers. "Congratulations, Madison," she said. "You've been nominated for this prestigious award. The committee wants to talk to the mastermind behind this amazing system." I was in shock. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was a dream come true. But then, a wave of doubt washed over me. I thought about how my family had always dismissed my achievements, how they had never really believed in me. I was afraid to tell them. But as the awards ceremony approached, I felt a strange urge to give them one last chance. A week before the event, I sat at my kitchen table, looking at the guest section of the invitation. I could invite up to 4 people, and I knew I could easily fill those seats with colleagues and friends who had supported me throughout my journey. But I hesitated. Finally, the day before the ceremony, I took a deep breath and opened our family group chat. My father had just posted a picture of the luxurious hotel he was staying at for a business conference. My mother had commented with emojis, and Lily had posted a selfie with her latest boyfriend. I stared at the screen for a long time, gathering my courage. Then I typed out an invitation, including the time, the venue, and a link to the live stream. I ended it with, "I'd really love it if you could come or at least watch. This means the world to me." I waited, my heart pounding in my chest. It felt like an eternity before my father replied. "I can't just drop everything for some award thing. I've got important business here." My mother chimed in, "Honey, it's a long way, and I've got a charity event to organize. Maybe next time." Lily was the last to respond. "Don't be so dramatic, Madison. It's just an award. You don't need us there to make it special." I read those messages, my hands trembling. I looked at my computer screen, where the official program for the awards ceremony was open, my name written in bold. I felt a lump in my throat, but I refused to cry. I typed one word, "understood," and put my phone down. The next day, I made the long journey to the ceremony. As I stepped into the grand hall, I was greeted by the warmth of my colleagues and friends. Dr. Amelia took my hand and said, "Tonight is about your hard work and the difference you've made, not about those who couldn't see your value." Her words gave me strength. During the ceremony, as I sat waiting for my moment, I couldn't help but think about my family. I knew they were probably sitting at home, oblivious to what was happening. And then, it was my turn. The lights dimmed, and a video about our disaster prediction system started playing. As my name was announced, I stood up and made my way to the stage. The applause was deafening, but all I could hear was my heart pounding. I accepted the award, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment. I looked out at the audience and saw the faces of the people who had believed in me, who had supported me through thick and thin. And then, I knew what I had to say. I thanked my team, Dr. Amelia, and all the people who had made this possible. I didn't mention my family. Not because I wanted to punish them, but because I knew the truth. They hadn't been there for me, and I wasn't going to pretend otherwise. Back at home, my family's reaction was predictable. The missed calls and messages started pouring in. My father's first message was, "Is that you on TV? Why didn't you tell us it was this big?" My mother sent a message saying how proud they were, and Lily wanted official pictures to post on social media. I scrolled through the messages, and I saw the contrast between their dismissive replies from the day before and their sudden praise. I also saw their ulterior motives. My father was already thinking about how it could benefit his business contacts, and my mother was considering a local news feature on the family. Lily wanted to use my success to boost her social status. I was disgusted. I decided to take control. I took screenshots of all the messages, from my invitation to their responses and their sudden plans to piggyback on my success. I created a private folder on my phone to save these as a reminder of the truth. When my younger brother Ethan called to apologize, I listened. He was sincere, but I couldn't fully forgive him. His silence over the years had also been a form of neglect. After that, more messages from my parents and Lily kept coming, but I ignored them. The next morning, I woke up and knew I had to set boundaries. I opened the family group chat and typed out a long message. I told them I knew they were surprised by the ceremony, but I also made it clear that they would not be involved with my work or my colleagues. I reminded them that I had invited them, and they had chosen not to come. My father was quick to respond. He called me dramatic and disrespectful, saying that he had sacrificed a lot for our family. My mother tried to soften his words, saying that they were proud in their own way, and Lily accused me of humiliating the family. But I stood my ground. I wrote, "I didn't make you look bad. I gave you a chance, and you chose not to take it." Then I muted the group chat for a year. In the weeks that followed, word spread in our small town about my award. People congratulated me, and some of them asked my father why he hadn't been at the ceremony. His public image started to take a hit. The man who had always presented himself as a strong family-oriented figure had failed to support his own daughter on a national stage. My mother's attempt to get a local news feature went nowhere without my cooperation, and Lily's Instagram post with false praise was quickly taken down after someone from high school called her out. My life became quieter and more peaceful. The award brought more attention to our project, which led to more funding and more opportunities for rural alert systems. I started mentoring young engineers, sharing my story and encouraging them to value themselves and their work, regardless of external validation. My relationship with my family has never been the same, and I'm okay with that. I've learned that family isn't defined by blood, but by who stands by you when it matters most. I've stopped seeking my father's approval, and I've found strength in the support of my colleagues and friends. I know that the journey ahead will still have its challenges, but I'm ready to face them with the knowledge that I am worthy, and I don't need anyone's validation to prove it.